It's always an exciting time to get things together and move forward with the Halloween. So happy pre-Halloween to everyone here. Always appreciate the Zoom in guest. We do have some very scrumptious treats here. And today we're going to have a few drawings. So all participants will be eligible to win a few goodies along the way. In our tradition, let's start with introducing everyone. I'm Aaron Givhan, slightly out of breath. Real estate's the game, but Halloween's my game. So, Nick.
Good morning, Nick Morris, member of the Highland Commerce Field Board, and recently retired from the Safety and Security Store.
Good morning,
Board member. Jeff Myers, treasurer of Highland Commerce Skills, and I'm dressed up as Gordon Gecko from Wall Street.
Good job.
I'm Deanna Daniel, owner of Self-Seek Hypnosis and Highland Harmony House, Airbnb. And I have 3 books that I've published, and I'm putting them into audio. One of them's already for Christmas presents. The first one, Kiss Your Elmo, Protect Your Memoir.
And you look so tranquil. Wonderful. All right.
Lieutenant Rob came on the way last night.
Yes, sir.
I'm Humboldt attorney. I'm running for circuit court judge in District 4. I'm also a Highlands resident. So thank you for having me this morning.
Good morning. I'm Chief Judge at that Karam. I think it's really important for the judges to get out and meet people in the community. So that's how Mr. Hagley and I are here. I'm born and raised in the Highlands. I'm running for the Court of Appeals, been a judge for 16 years. Want to continue serving the community, the Highlands, and the rest of Louisville in the Court of Appeals. So Annette Karam, I'm now the team. So thank you all very much for having us here today.
Thank you both for being here and reaching out to everyone.
Linda, I'm the manager of the Highland Shelby Park Library.
Hi, I'm Nancy Chazen. I'm a Highland Commerce Board member, and I'm also a here. I'm also the executive director of National Council of Jewish Women. We own and operate the Nearly New Shop.
Good morning. I'm Tim Meyer. I'm over at Highland Middle School in the Youth Service Center. So my job there is how can I help? So.
Good morning, Bertie Clayton. I'm assistant director of community.
Thanks.
That's
Wonderful. Online today, we have an illustrious crowd, 2 of the more interactive people that you will meet. Ray, how about introducing yourself?
I'm Ray Brundage. I'm with the Tyler Park Neighborhood Association. And I'm secretary of the Tyler Park Neighborhood Association. So.
And shall we say, a man about town who volunteers.
I do. And, and this is Nellie. Nellie.
Yo.
In the corner. There you go.
All right.
Good
You
girl.
go, Billy. All right, Heine, I know you're in there.
I'm here. If someone could just feed me coffee through the internet, that would be great.
Well, there's treats await you.
I am the chair of the District 8 Advisory Council, and I want to remind everybody to go vote.
Go vote. Yes. Yay. You had a standing ovation. I don't know if you could see it or not.
That's okay. I'll take it at this hour. If you have any questions about voting, email me.
Wonderful. Will do. In this, someone snuck in. Give us you. And thank you for being. Oh, it's great to see you. Now, it is Halloween, so you're allowed to have some treats. I know you're full of tricks, but you are allowed to have some treats. All right. In all the greatness of how we move through the year, a very staunch reoccurring event is called Bardstown Road Aglow. And we are working on our 37th event. And again, it's the very beginning, but we're looking for people to sign up if they have an interest in volunteering. We do interact with a lot of the local businesses during this time, and we could use some additional help. So please, by all means, in your greater glory of don't have anything to do, give us a call. 417-7610, just in case. We do have sign-up sheets here today. If anybody wants to take it to a family, friend, distribute it, hang it in the hallway, all those good places to put flyers. Let's see. Oh, well, we would like everyone to sign up by November 10th. This year, it's December 3rd. And we are having an array of events very similar to the past few years, but we're expanding. We're having additional musicians on the streets, so there'll be a little bit more strolling capability. We are upping our game a little bit as we move into this. We do have one of the trolleys on reserve, and we have talked to maybe getting an additional trolley. You know how negotiations are, you keep talking to the last minute. So we just plan to, and again, the Barrett Avenue Adventure, the group of businesses over there, since the reopening of Big Bad Breakfast, we're hopeful to recreate an event we had over there as well. Everyone's gone through a tremendous change in a very short period of time, but with a little cooperation, we're back on our game. Okay, now you had mentioned in TARC, there's a lot that's been going on. Do you have any updates, like how the survey's coming, information rolling in on that? In past meetings, we had some speakers and included TARC, and they were talking about trying to survey the area for TARC tomorrow.
We're still collecting data on that. Yeah.
Okay. It's coming in. All right. Is there anything with TARC going on? Maybe people need to be aware of, would be changes for the holiday seasons?
No schedule changes.
Okay. Any new buses coming online? Just asking, just asking. But again, it's between Eastern Parkway and Grinstead has been a very changing area. And again, appreciate TARC thinking about the future versus today. There's been a tremendous change in Bardstown Road. I know if anyone's driving it, I believe the input has been positive. The putting in the bump outs, the landscaping that's coming, the commitment to keep the landscaping green will all benefit in slowing down Bardstown Road. One of the things that I got involved with was I was trying to cross Bardstown Road about 15 years ago, and someone really tried to run me over. So I came to this meeting and expressed my dismay, and I was challenged by a past member about what are you going to do? So from that challenge came the banner program that we have and we do maintain. It's Wheels and Feet Share the Street. And that came from a mother-daughter team many years ago. And again, it was grown from the home ground, but from a very positive competition. And we had multiple restaurant certificates for the winner. That banner program still is up. It has expanded out Bardstown Road, and Frankfurt Avenue has picked up the Wheels and Feet Share the Street. So that's one thing that we're very happy about, and still hope to expand throughout the community of being more unified and being aware of the participation of the neighborhood as well as pedestrians and shoppers. Speaking of pedestrian shoppers, jaywalkers, Lieutenant, can you come and give us some updates? What's going on? Yes, sir. You're used to that.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Now you got to line up with, oh, there you are.
Is that better?
There he is.
All right. Overall, crime is down in the city. I don't know. Overall, I mean, homicides are down. The big things, homicides are down, carjackings are down, knock on wood. We only had 2 homicides in October, which is usually it's our most deadliest month for whatever reason. We have 2. Bardstown Road, the Highlands in general, everything's down as far as the big, you know, the newsworthy things. Property crime is up like 35%, but that property crime, you know, encompasses, you know, someone's breaking into your car, someone attempting to, you know, your car's unlocked and they wake up and it's been rummaged through, nothing taken. That still goes toward that number. Shoplifting, all that goes to that. But overall, we're pleased with this year. We do have some more officers that have come to the division. So our manpower is getting better. It's still not where it was pre-COVID or whatever, you know, we used to have 26 on late watch. Now we're up to 20, which is still good. The construction on Bardstown Road over the last month has been kind of trying because they're trying to do it at night and businesses are still trying to operate. So we've been having some issues with people parking, but most of that's just minor stuff. It's inconvenient more than anything, but once it's all done, I think it is slowing traffic down because the bump outs do force people to slow down and merge and all that. The crosswalks are still, there's still a process. The bars lately have been behaving for the most part, which is good. Some of the bars have hired off duty, which just helps us. It adds manpower on the weekends, which we need. We're still trying to get out and walk when the weather cooperates. A few bars are opening back up. We'll see how that goes. And I know they're getting ready to try to develop the old laundromat, 1100 block of Bardstown Road. They're gonna make it a dance club. So we'll see how that goes. Again, parking's always at a premium in that area. So some of the parking lots, the business owners have kind of taken upon themselves to close them down because they wake up with trash in the morning. So that's it's their property. They can do what they want. We'll support that. But, you know, you might have any questions or concerns or specific issues. Oh, and the cows are still one out. I was going to wear a cowboy hat today just so it'd be fitting, but there's still one out. He was on the golf course yesterday, so I guess he's trying to get some rounds in. There's a GoFundMe page, I think, to save the cow. But anyway, any questions, anything specific? As always, you can call us for anything. We'd rather you call us. And then instead of us finding out something on Nextdoor app or social media that something's going on, as trivial as it may sound, that you may have the missing piece to something else that's tied to something else. So we always tell you to call us and we'll try to get there or take a number, call you back. So, yes,
I
ma'am.
have a question. So the nearly new shop down at the lower level of Mid-City Mall,
Yes, ma'am.
security is what it is. We
Right.
obviously have an alarm system on there. The building, the doors, you know, they're a little, they're not as secure. We often get people random times at night, you know, but recently just got something at 11:30 on Sunday night. Somebody had gotten down into the mall, jiggled the doors, trying to get in. Of course, it sets off our alarm because it's sensitive. That happens often when the alarm company calls me to say, hey, your alarm's going off, and they ask, do you want us to call LMPD to send them out? My response is always yes, because I want to make sure there's not an actual break-in or theft. I understand that after a certain amount of calls, we could get charged if it's a false alarm. So we just got a letter the other day saying, hey, we came out, it's a false alarm. So where is the understanding or the balance of, you know, I'm on the east end, maybe my manager, you know, is 10 minutes away from the store, but if the alarm's going off, particularly in the middle of the night or, you know, when we're not there, I'm certainly not going to put any of them in danger. So the reaction and the advice from our security company is have the police come check it out.
Well, I think from your standpoint, I would always send the police. And then if you have an issue, if you get letters from the city, which a lot of times we don't, like the 5th Division doesn't generate that.
Yeah.
I'd rather you call me and I can relate your specific issue
Right.
to whoever's in charge of that.
Certainly.
Because I'd rather you call us than have one of your employees that night go, oh, it's probably just a door,
Yeah.
and they encounter somebody. So I'd rather you just call us and we can arbitrarily deal with if it's gets,
If there's a fine.
yeah, I just think that's, because I think that program is more towards some of those situations, but people that don't respond, like we get burglar alarms all the time and we'll call, and no one will show up. So that it's not a perfect system. We're just trying to, eliminate some of the false runs, which if they're false, but your alarm is still going off. So someone tried to get into your building.
Yeah.
So I think it's just call and we'll just keep going. And if there's an issue, just call me and we'll figure it out.
And I have a comment on that. Nancy, you might have the alarm company take a look at that. Whether it's a door contact or motion sensor, they may be able to adjust it a little bit, so it's not quite as sensitive.
Yeah.
Because if someone is just jiggling the door, that really shouldn't set the alarm off. Because the door is not physically
Yeah.
open. So you have to just check into that as a possibility.
Thank you.
All right.
That's really June, but there's a bar upstairs. And again, that's the response. The doors are secure. They're not supposed to be.
And you may, I know the ownership is in transition, but even in transition, you could have them check to make sure the doors could be adjusted.
Yeah, so I've asked, and they're like, no, it's what it is.
No.
But thank you, so, yeah.
Internally,
Nothing we're going to be safe and sorry.
yeah. Has the tenants been made aware of any transition?
No, that's a conversation we all had this morning. Nothing official yet from Met's Realty, just.
Yeah, I understand.
Maybe year, 2 years, the governor.
Yes, no problems there. In following up with Lieutenant King, the Highlands Commerce Guild has been involved in many projects over the last year, and one of them was the highest and best use for working with restaurants and bars for the late serving crowd, and all bars and restaurants were included. From that came a manual, and again, it is in the mayor's office for review. There is a time frame which they are allowed to take to look things over. That document led to the meeting of many of the bar owners and managers, which the Highlands Commerce Guild coordinated. And I have to thank Nick and Amy because they were heavily involved along with me in this, how do we wrangle a problem or address? So from that, several things did evolve to where communication became the key. And if a exception was having trouble with a specific customer, they were sharing information. So they were getting the heads up along the way. I cannot thank Lieutenant King enough and Cassie Armstrong, because another thing we participated in was getting out drug tests in the local bars for patrons to test their drinks for drugs. Now, I know that sounds crazy, what we had gotten to that level, but it was being proactive to something that was virtually impossible to stop, except with time. Now, with time, that number has dropped. And Lieutenant King, do you have any updates as far as the follow-up or how they're tracing the potential drugging of customers in the bar establishment?
Overall, I won't mention the bar, but kind of one particular bar that we've had some sporadically the last 2 months. But nothing concrete, but overall, I think just the news media and just folks, especially young ladies that are going to be the targets, just taking better care of their beverage when they're out.
Yes.
Don't accept drinks from folks, it's just common sense that a lot of that's lacking. And when the
Yes.
bar gets so overcrowded, it doesn't take much to distract and do whatever.
Yes.
I don't know if it was a team working, I have no idea. We've never really been able to pinpoint a suspect or suspects. We just know that one particular bar for a while, and then it kind of moved. But we haven't had many. Every once in a while we get them. We were getting them all the time
Right.
before, whatever, every once in a while. So it's that surge that prompted all the testing and the meetings,
Yes,
that surge is gone, so that's good.
yes. And I do, it is my understanding that they plan to continue for a time period, free. They're like little cards and they have these tabs and you can test your drink. It's just so people have a peace of mind. And again, it was, it's interesting how the criticism comes, but the quick response was never congratulated or rewarded. So I believe in getting together. The highest and best use manual was an accomplishment because it did bond a group of businesses together. It has not happened. And then getting through Cassie Armstrong, getting the little test and getting them out to all the bars and restaurants, that at least it was a countermeasure that came expediently from acknowledging what the problems are. So through communication, it's always been very, very important to keep those lines open. We have another guest. Please.
Who overslept?
That's all right. Wonderful, Christy. In many things that have been going on lately, and I know nothing official, but are there any new programs or potential support services that are being considered with the new influx of the federal dollars?
Yes.
If you would come on up. Well, we have a guest online.
Oh,
So
okay, of course, of course. Hi, everybody online. It's Christy. I'm late. Sorry.
it's all right. And
Um,
look, it's just to you.
Hello.
How tall
Oh,
you
isn't
are.
that, that's
You
about as
6 feet
tall.
tall. See how tall you are?
Yeah, there's big news about the ARP dollars. And the council, has been considering these ARP dollars since we got them. So the decisions that they're making are based a lot on economic development. And, housing and housing the homeless is a really big part of that because, that was increased over COVID. So what we have to do is be very specific about using the funds in ways that are really based on ARP dollars. So while they haven't told us exactly who it's going to, the way that our team works, particularly the small independent business team, team that works on those businesses, is that we're always thinking about these effects. These effects have not gone away. One of the things that we're working on and hope to launch by the end of the first week of November is what we call the restaurant toolkit. Or toolbox, who knows? We're trying to think of a good name for it. But what we've done is observed and listened to a lot of our local business owners. I think we've all seen in the news that businesses are closing. We've got a lot of businesses on the brink of closing. And, let's just follow the path. The reason these businesses are in, the top reason these businesses are in the position that they're in is workforce, okay? So our community, our business community, particularly in the service industry, has changed forever, all right? So workforce is definitely the biggest problem, maintaining staff. So what we've been doing is doing national and global research on what are other restaurants doing to survive? What are they doing to pivot? What are they doing innovative with workforce, with marketing, with all the things that, and I'll tell you, this is the God's honest truth. Restaurants that are run by owners and or owner chefs, they don't have time to do this kind of research and look for case studies where certain moves and pivots and innovations worked. That's what we're trying to do for them right now. We've come up with a lot of different ways to look at workforce. I'll share one of them with you. It's the cross-functional training of staff so that, excuse me, when maybe one of the staff can't make it, there's another staff member that's been trained at their job, front of the house, back of the house. And if they do this cross-training, and again, this is something we've read through case studies with outside of Louisville, if they cross-train these staff, then they can move those staff to full-time. If you move them to full-time, then you can give them benefits. Benefits, that's gonna cost me more money. It is, but what we're also encouraging business owners to do is to look at their menus. And, we think of things like green chili wontons, hot browns. You think of, these are very iconic menu items. Every one of the restaurants in town has things that people go back for over and over again. Push those to the fore, limit your menu a little bit more so that you can save money. And let me just tell you what, I will pay extra for green chili wontons. I will pay $1 more or $2 more. Craft cocktails, this is all recorded, but I'll say it too. I'll pay higher for craft cocktails. Okay, I will. So, giving the restaurants the confidence and the plan to be able to raise prices enough to not scare their regulars away, really talk about their spotlight items so that it draws new guests to their restaurants, raise their prices so that they can afford to pay and benefits for their staff so that they can survive. And we must go to them. We must support them. We must pay the extra buck for the green chili wontons. We must do those sort of things. And another part of this service thing is that people coming out of COVID, they were really tired of being at home. They were cranky. So I work for economic development. I'm paid for people to be cranky with me, so that's okay. But we really just have to be very, I think, empathetic and compassionate to restaurant workers and restaurant owners, and not freak out if menu prices have to raise so that people can pay for childcare. So that's my big campaign, but we're working on a lot of things. That's really number one, because people come to us about that so much. We have hired a new staff member, which you will meet at a meeting soon. Her name is Ashby Eggers. And so now we have 2. We're working on council to give us more, money for staffing, because we want a staff member that's dedicated to our immigrant business population, so that they can understand the resources that are available to them. But as always, if you have questions, if you have gripes, if you have ideas, you know where I am. And as the mayor asked me, Greenberg asked me, I've worked with Dara. They said, well, what are you going to do with the transition change? Trust me, giving someone my job is not going to be a compliment for them for their support. So I think my job's safe. At least I'm thinking that.
Well, thank you so much. It's always good to stay. She's always in the community. She's always out there, and but she does. She does indeed. Thank you, Christy. Jim. Yes. Jim McGuire, he is the CEO and founder of 1020. And a lot of people may not know 1020 by name just yet. There's more than one. But when you hear about the new location, the old Heine Brothers, I think that people will start cluing in. So please come on up. Let's hear your journey.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Jim McGuire. I represent the ownership group for 1020. I'm also, my day job is right across the street at Collegiate. So this was an easy commute for me this morning to come over here. So we founded 1020 back in October of 2020, right at the, am I good? Right at kind of the peak of the pandemic and COVID, and certainly was a challenging time, but we were able to kind of start small down in Butchertown. We've got a great leadership team there with our general manager, Jonathan Waitman, and then also our head of brewing operations, Larry Horwitz, who collectively between the two of them have about 50 years of experience in the industry. And so they've been able to really help us kind of get started and get launched. And then we've got a tremendous team. We're at about 50 employees now. Adding the Douglas Loop location, I was able to add another approximately 10 jobs. We're still hiring for a couple of things right now. So we're excited about that growth too, and being able to be a place for folks to come and work. But we opened in October of 2020, and kind of grew as the pandemic started to ease its grip a little bit, and kind of rolled through 21, and kind of kept growing and adding just different verticals in the business. One of the big ones for us is events. We have at our Butchertown location, it's a 22,000 square foot building. I don't know if you've been there or if you're familiar with it at all, but it used to be the old Dryden Providing meat distribution business. And so we worked closely with John and his family when we were purchasing that building. So kind of grew as we got through the pandemic, and then we looked quickly to adding some satellite tap rooms. The way our model is set up or structured, we build a manufacturing plant, in that building in Butchertown, with the idea that we would have these smaller tap rooms that would be in the Louisville area that would, essentially feed off of that manufacturing plant and sell that beer in those respective tap rooms. And we opened our first tap room in Anchorage. One of our board chair lived in Anchorage and was familiar with an opportunity right next to the Village Anchor. And so we opened that one in December of 21. We had plans in 22 to open another one. And so, right towards like the end of the spring, we became aware of an opportunity in the former Heine Brothers location there. They were going to be closing down. They were going to be sort of stepping out of that lease. And so we were in a good position to be able to say, well, we'd love to be in the Highlands. I live in Douglas Loop, that area. And so it's my neighborhood. And so I was super excited about that, and just being able to be in the neighborhood and be a part of the kind of growth and development in that neighborhood. So opened up that location a couple of weeks ago, and it's been great. We're off to a good start. We are going to be adding some things to that location as we go. So we will be adding pizza there, matzo pie. Tom Edwards, who's a partner of ours down at the Butchertown location, will also be operating pizza out of there. That will probably go online here in the next week or two. We've still got some work to do with that. And then also adding a coffee service to that location as well. We certainly recognize that for 22 years there was coffee, and Heine Brothers was there, and it was a great community space for folks during the day and whatnot. And we want to make sure that we're kind of leaning into that and trying to be that as well for that area, that community. Once that coffee service gets up and running, we'll probably be open right around 7 a.m. every morning until 10 during the weekdays, 11 or 12 on the weekends, that sort of thing. Our team is great there. Brittany Rogers is our site manager at the Douglas Loop location. So if you're ever by there and you want to say hi to Brittany, she's amazing. She's really talented and has been with us for a long time now, helped us get our Anchorage satellite tap room launched, and now has done this one as well. A little bit about us. There's 3 founders: myself, my brother-in-law John Flutter, business partner, and then also Luke Scoggin, a friend of ours that we've known each other for. John and Luke went to the Naval Academy together many years ago and flew jets in the Navy and that sort of thing. I have a far less sexy background. I've been in education for a long time, but was excited about this project because it was a chance to, our guiding purpose or mission is to bring people together for good. And so we're trying to think about creative ways that we can be engaged in the community, that we can add value to the community, how we can be complementary. And as a educator and counselor, I try to build a career out of trying to help and support the community and whatnot, and be a resource. And so excited about trying to execute that or activate that idea within a business like 1020. So that's a little bit of our origin story. That was really quick and fast. I'm happy to answer questions, or certainly available if anybody wants to ever reach out. My email address is really simple. It's just jim@1020brewery.com. So, and I'm happy to answer questions or talk offline with anybody that may have questions. Yeah.
I just want to say I'll pay extra $1.
Yeah. It is objectively amazing pizza. Like it really is. So we're excited. One little quick thing about the coffee service, just to kind of talk about that a little bit, is we are going to try to bring a little bit of a beer experience into the coffee experience, meaning like we're going to have like a rotating tap, if you will, of like locally manufactured or roasted coffees, and we're going to kind of rotate that through and try to really celebrate a lot of the things that are here locally in our community. So that'll happen. We'll do some things like coffee flights and some other stuff just to kind of bring a little bit of that experience into that coffee as well. So we'll see how some of that goes. We're excited about trying that out as well and try to create a kind of a destination for coffee as well.
Yeah, you have so many wonderful options there. Would you consider yourself mostly a craft beer bar?
We are a craft brewery first and foremost. I mean, that's what we do, and that's what Larry Horowitz is our head of brewing and a really talented head of brewing, and we have about 16 products at any given time and can make a lot of different things. So that's where we'll really be focused our time and attention. But these other areas are certainly ones that we're excited about and we think are complementary to kind of what we do. We recognize that even at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 6 o'clock in the evening, not everybody wants to have a beer. They want to have, something else to drink, and we want to be able to provide really high quality craft drinks, non-alcoholic and whatnot. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So currently, what are the current hours and I know you've got ideas, but like
Yep.
right now when I walk in there.
Yep. We're open at 3 every day right now. And so that'll stay in place until we start adding in the coffee service. And we are going to probably add like at least drip and some espresso coffee options during those hours here in the next week as we try to get ready for that service and really practice, make sure that we're up to speed before we start reaching down into the earlier hours in the day. But that's the general plan. So, 3 o'clock every day, 7 days a week. Stop by and see us.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
We're glad to have you up here. Again, one of the smoother transitions in the sense of understanding change of one business, but glad to be expanding and keeping the spaces occupied and moving. We had another individual we didn't have a chance to welcome this morning.
Sorry, I was late.
No, it's not a problem.
I'm Danny Elder. I'm one of the owners of Meat Burger Bar and Bottle Shop right next to where Lily's used to be. And that's all I have to do, right? Just introduce myself.
Hey. No.
You have to see this place. Beautiful bar, that was a tattoo bar.
Yeah, the old Indian dagger.
And it's seamless and gorgeous and I think
Well, yes.
We're having our first art opening there, which when Owen and I opened it, I was like, this other room just lends itself to local art. So Sherry Carter, who is co-owner of Old Carter Bourbon Company, she is an incredible artist. And she paints these huge, wild horse scenes. So she's having an art opening at our bar on Tuesday, November 15th from 6 to 9. She'll be shaking hands and talking about the artwork. So we're really excited about that. And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Oh,
Good
well-
to see everybody.
Daniel, any news on Lily's as far as the owner doing something with that space?
We keep trying to get our foot in the door with them because Jason, the owner of Bungalow behind us, wants to get in there and turn it into Highland dining and then living area on top. But that guy, he said, I've never sold one of my properties. So he's hung up on that, and that's okay. We're trying to get a 99-year lease. Just so that something goes in there to sort of round out the rest of that block. Because at this point, it's really tragic. But we're trying to see what he says.
do you know if the kitchen equipment is still in there?
It is. Yeah, it makes
That
sense.
can't sit long without being.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. So, fingers crossed. We are working on, I don't know if you guys are walking up and down the street, but the original Bungalow, the old head shop used to be there, the Bungalow check-in area. So we are expanding into that space, hopefully. We're making that be 100% vintage spirits, like a museum of old historic bottles that you can pass through. You can have private tastings in there. And then for me, I'm really excited because we're gonna have a little Kentucky-based gift shop with all local makers of, you know, jams and honeys and earrings and clothes and stuff like that. So it'll be like freshly Kentucky gift shop, and it's just open during the day, you know, 10 to 6 or something. So that'll be fun too.
And I highly recommend you guys, see the Carters, you know, they have Carter Whiskey Company, and they came from San Francisco and decided that they love old architecture and came to the city and loved it. They bought a very old building, in fact, a couple of old buildings along Market Street at first, like, you know where the White Castle is, who doesn't? It's directly across First Street from there. And they are great stewards of old architecture and buildings, and they've fallen in love with Louisville. I'm so glad to know that that's some of the nicest people I've ever met. So they do their bottling, some small batch bottling there on Market Street first. So I would recommend you check them out.
Yeah, definitely. It's right next to Justin's house.
Great.
Anyway.
And a little early, but we met during Bardstown Road Aglow, and you all opened early so people see what you were doing. So you're coming up on your first, what is your birthday, your anniversary?
January 14th.
January 14th. All right.
So, and we'll have a little, you know, shindig for that. No cover or anything, just walk in and have a cocktail and celebrate our 1-year birthday party.
Christy will pay for it.
I'll give her a call.
Well, great.
I mean,
No,
the neighborhood is really interesting. It's a really great.
oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. No, glad that you're here today. Well, in maintaining, again, as our annual meeting, there is a minor thing that we have to do in each year, and that's present our board and take a vote to continue on in the great service and honors as we know it. So we have Nick Morris, please stand, and he's the vice president. We have Amy, and Amy has been, well, our girl Friday, but now we're saying, I don't know if we say our woman, our person, nothing different. She does a tremendous amount and is a great service on the board. And Nancy, again, we met earlier, but again, with Nearly New Shop. And Mark Abrams is here. And I know people over the years, but Mark was really our instigator to the graffiti program, which continues on today. Yeah, Jeff Myers is our current treasurer, and again, remains in constant contact trying to keep us in compliance. It's true. Adema Perez, she couldn't be here today, but she's with Park Community Credit Union and a number, again, another member of our board. And then I, as Aaron Givhan, the current president. So all those for maintaining, continuing the existing board, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? No nays. We're stuck with ourselves for a while. Well, thank you for that minor housekeeping deal. Now, in moving, we do have door prizes today. And Nick has been very good about organizing, figuring out who's who and what. We have a variety of things from the Nearly New Shop, gift certificates. We've got some safety security items, and we do have the planters on the table as well. So how do you want to do this, Nick?
Well, if you will just draw out a number and give me that number, I will. And again, I'd like to thank Nancy for a couple of gift certificates and Aaron for the flowers.
Sure, no problem. Number 4.
Number 4 is Deanna.
All right, girl. So you get to pick.
You can choose, yeah, one of the planters.
All right.
So welcome to come up and select from these items here.
Drum roll. All right. Number 2.
Number 2 is Mark Abrams.
Yay! All right. Start your day off right. Number 13.
Number 13 is Danielle.
Yeah. Come on, you can pick any planner or
A
what can you
planter
take?
are one of the prizes there.
All right. Number 6.
Number 6 is Annette.
Yay. Sure. And I mean, you can pick, if you want a different color for the house, it's any one of them are available.
Thank you.
Number 8.
Number 8 is Nancy.
Yay. All right. Number 12.
Number 12 is Christy.
Yay. You don't even have to pay.
I just always feel awkward being from the city and taking that.
We won't tell anybody. It's not being recorded. All right. News at 11. Number 3.
Number 3 is Jeff Myers.
Yay. I won't tell your wife you got that. All right, number 11.
Number 11 is Larry Williams.
Yay, Larry.
Everybody trying to get something right.
Right, that's the goal. You're the man, Larry. Number 7.
Number 7 is Beth Nahansky.
We have planters are good. Planters are good. Now this person must be something I can relate to. It's got coffee stains on it. Number 14.
Number 14 is Jim McGuire.
Yay, Jim. Did he leave? Oh. Oh. All right. Then number 10.
Number 10 is Bersham.
Yay. Good, good, good. All right. And number 9.
Number 9 is Tim Meyer.
Yay. All right. There is a planter. Yeah. So, yay, team. So it should be.
14 total.
Yeah, well, I thought me, did you put, is it Amy?
Amy.
All right,
Amy.
the last one, Amy. Yay, Amy. I know there's one around here. All right. Well, now we're up to the most exciting part, shameless promotions. Does anyone have anything they may want to speak about again, back there, any about what's going on with them, any promotions at their business or shamelessly themselves? Yes, the lady in the back.
So just for people who came in maybe a little late, I wanted to introduce myself again. I'm Jessica Karen. Thank you all for providing this opportunity for the candidates sometimes who show up here. And, I think it's important for judges, for you all actually, to meet the judges and us to meet you guys and to hear what the concerns are in the community. Certainly, I'm the arraignment court judge on Mondays and Tuesdays, and I see a lot of people that come to the courthouse, courtroom that have been charged with duty or unfortunately the murders that we've had. So it's important to know who your judges are, to know what their experience is. And I've been a judge for 16 years. I've served this community as a prosecutor before that for 7 years, prosecuting domestic violence, prosecuting children sexual assault. I'm hoping to continue serving this community as a court of appeals judge. And I know everybody here is very committed to the community, and I'm sure you believe that experience matters. All of the appellate judges are retiring that serve Jefferson County, So the experience is, there's gonna be a void there, so it's really important to have experience that you know already to fill those shoes. So I'm happy to stick around and answer questions, and thank you so much. Again, at next forum, District Court Chief, District Court Judge right now, and the Court of Appeals. So thank you very much. Yes.
Is there a place, and I know that it's nonpartisan,
Yes.
the judge races,
Which is very important.
is there a place where we can go and look at the judge, you know, I measure, oh, that's a really good friend of mine. Oh, that's the judge that will work, okay, I'll look at that. Because I don't, is there a place we can go to see who's experienced?
Sure.
Where are
So there are 2 forums that have happened that are available online. The local bar association, if you Google judicial forum for the bar association, then you'll be able to see forums and actually hear us speak and see what we have to say. We're not issue driven, so, you know, we can't speak to any issues. If we spoke to the issue, then we would recuse off the case. So it's important that we don't speak to issues, but that's a really good way to actually hear what we've said and see the, you know, to actually, it's not a debate per se, but you can see, you know, each of the candidates. So I would suggest looking for those. I know they're available on YouTube. And then the Vote 411 has some questions that they've asked each of the judicial candidates that we have sent in answers to. That's a good, and it is kind of difficult because, of course, we always try to answer a question without answering it because we can't address issues. But so I think those forums, experience, I believe that's just, yeah, I think that is one of the, of course, in my race, you know, I'm going to say that anyway, but I mean, I just think that as a community member, I just think it's really important to look at and see what everybody's done, and you can see, you can look at websites. I know, like on mine, you know, I've got the QR code, you can go to our website and see it. Most of the candidates will have that, so if you see the list of candidates, that you can go Google them and look at their website, so you can see what they highlighted that they believe is important. And so, but, oh, the ballot. There are 43 judges in Jefferson County that serve you every day. And every one of us is on the ballot. So, there's only 18 contested races. We would love to see the legislature pull off uncontested races so that the ballot's not so messy, but for now, that's what we have. So we usually, judges usually tell you all turn the ballot over. That's not true this year. This year, the judges start on the front. So you'll have if you're looking at your ballot, the left-hand column is partisan races, and then the mayoral races in the middle of the front of the ballot, and then all the judges start. And it starts with Supreme Court, and then there's 2 Court of Appeal. We have 1 Supreme Court justice here in Jefferson County, and 2 Court of Appeals, Division 1 and Division 2, on Division 2, and then it'll start the circuit, family, and district. So you do have to turn it over, and the amendments are on the back as well. So just make sure you turn that ballot over. But the judges do start on the front. So, yeah.
Well, thank you.
Questions? Yeah. Yes. There is, yes. I did not. I have in the past. No one in my race has been. Yes. No, it's not really. It's run by, I mean, you have to look it up. I would suggest it. So.
Yes. Larry's good about due diligence.
Any other questions about it?
Oh.
About the election?
I'm sure you've been so kind to be here. If they think of it, if anyone else has some promotion they would like to give.
Yes, I'm Deanna Daniel, and like I mentioned, I have 3 Louisville memoirs written, and the first one, Kiss Your Elbow, a Kentucky memoir, is fully done in audio and ready for purchase. If you want a good Christmas gift, it's about growing up in Louisville, Jefferson County in the 40s and 50s, and it's a really fun book. So Anyway, I just want to get that out because people were looking for Christmas gifts. And another thing is a question of you guys, if anybody knows of a service where I can get my dining room chairs re-glued. 2 of them have become so dangerous, I can't have dinner parties. So just give me a call, come by my chair here.
All right.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'd like to endorse Kiss Your Elbow. It's a wonderful book.
Well, thank you. Well, it's been at Carmichael's, but mostly it's online. Just look up my name, Deanna O'Daniel, or Kiss Your Elbow, but there are, somebody stole that title, so be sure you put in a Kentucky memoir, they end up with the wrong book. Thank you.
Anyone else? Well, we do have Cazito treats and coffee. Please network. And thank you for, yes,
Just a quick little
oh,
memo.
please.
Highland Middle School tomorrow night, 5 to 7. We're having our little fall festival, and it will be mostly outside the building. So if you're coming down Norris Place or Richmond Avenue, it's like, all these people doing here, make yourself part of the family. Stop in. It's some, I don't know what all we'll have, you know, treats and food trucks and all that good stuff. But if you want to float around and say hello, not officially campaigning, but you know, rub those elbows, feel free to do so. So Highland is your middle school, right? Right down the street. So 5 to 7 tomorrow night, just a family friendly community building get together, make yourself welcome.
Great. Thank you. Going once, going twice. We are adjourned. Please network, please enjoy. Thank you.